What if I told you that the most successful people in the world, people like Arnold Schwarzenegger, got to where they are not just because of what they shared with the world, but because of what they kept hidden? Think about it. We live in an age where everyone's constantly posting, sharing, broadcasting every detail of their lives. But here's the brutal truth. The smartest people, the ones who actually win in life, they know exactly what to keep to themselves. And Arnold Schwarzenegger, a man who went from having nothing in a small Austrian village to becoming Mr. Olympia 7 times, a Hollywood megastar, and the governor of California, he understood this principle better than almost anyone. Now, before you think this is just another motivational video telling you to work hard and believe in yourself, stop right there. This is different. This is about the psychological warfare that happens in everyday life, the subtle ways people try to bring you down, and how the legends protect themselves. Arnold once said something that should make your ears perk up. He said, "The worst thing I can be is the same as everybody else." I hate that. But here's what most people miss about that quote. It's not just about being different in what you do. It's about being different in what you reveal. You see, Arnold didn't just stumble into success. He strategically crafted his path, and a massive part of that strategy involved keeping certain things locked away from the world, even from people he considered friends. And if you're serious about building something real in your life, whether that's a business, a career, a body you're proud of, or just a life that's genuinely yours, you need to understand what to keep private. Because I promise you, the moment you start revealing these 3 things, you've handed your enemies the ammunition they need to take you down. So, stick with me until the end of this video. Because by the time we're done, you're going to understand exactly what separates the winners from everyone else. You're going to see why Arnold's life wasn't just about muscles and movies, it was about mental fortitude and strategic thinking. And more importantly, you're going to learn how to apply these same principles to your own life starting today. The foundation of success. Let me paint you a picture. It's the early 1970s, and there's this Austrian kid with a thick accent walking around Gold's Gym in Venice Beach, California. Most people thought he was crazy. They laughed at his dreams of becoming the greatest bodybuilder in the world, then the biggest movie star in Hollywood, and eventually a political leader. The odds were stacked against him in ways most of us can't even imagine. But Arnold had something that most people lack. He understood that success is as much about what you don't say as what you do. Arnold has talked about this many times in his life. He's mentioned how people would constantly try to get inside his head before competitions, how they'd try to find his weaknesses, how they'd attempt to shake his confidence, but he never gave them the satisfaction. He kept his vulnerabilities hidden, his doubts private, and his true plans known only to himself and a very select few. Here's something you need to understand about human nature. We want to believe that people are generally good, that they want the best for us, that they're cheering for our success. And sure, some people are. Your real friends, your true family, the people who genuinely love you, they want to see you win. But here's the harsh reality. Most people are neutral at best, and many are actively hoping you fail. Not because they're evil, but because your success reminds them of their own failures. Your discipline highlights their lack of it. Your progress makes them uncomfortable about their stagnation. Arnold understood this from a young age. Growing up in post-war Austria, in a strict household with limited opportunities, he learned that the world doesn't owe you anything. He learned that if you want something, you have to take it, and you have to be smart about how you take it. One of his most powerful quotes speaks directly to this. You can't climb the ladder of success with your hands in your pockets. But what he didn't add, what he lived but didn't always say, was that you also can't climb that ladder if you're constantly telling everyone which rung you're on and exactly how you plan to reach the top. The first thing, smart people. Never reveal. What's the first thing you should never reveal? Your next move, your plans, your big goals before they're accomplished. Now, I know what you're thinking. Doesn't everyone say you should share your goals? Doesn't declaring your intentions publicly help keep you accountable? Well, here's where conventional wisdom fails you spectacularly. There's actually scientific research backing this up. When you tell people about your goals, your brain gets a premature sense of accomplishment. Psychologists call this social reality. The moment you announce your intention, your mind mistakes the talking for the doing. You get that little dopamine hit, the pat on the back, that, "Wow, good for you," from others, and suddenly your brain thinks you've already made progress when you haven't done anything yet. Arnold knew this instinctively. He said, the mind is the limit. As long as the mind can envision the fact that you can do something, you can do it. As long as you really believe 100%. Notice he didn't say, as long as you tell everyone about it. He kept his vision internal, powerful, and protected from outside interference. Think about when Arnold decided he wanted to transition from bodybuilding to acting. Everyone told him it was impossible. His accent was too thick, his body was too big, his name was unpronounceable. The logical thing would have been to defend his dream, to argue with critics, to try to convince everyone it would work. But that's not what he did. He kept his head down, took acting classes quietly, worked on his accent privately, and strategically took small roles that would build toward his ultimate goal. He didn't announce he was going to be the biggest action star in the world. He just became it. When you reveal your plans too early, you open yourself up to 3 major threats. First, you invite negativity. People who are stuck in their own lives will project their limitations onto you. They'll tell you all the reasons it won't work, not because they've analyzed your specific situation, but because they couldn't do it themselves. Second, you invite competition. The moment you announce you're starting a business, launching a product, or pursuing a specific opportunity, you've alerted everyone in your circle to that opportunity. Some of them will decide to pursue it too, except they'll do it quietly while you've been busy broadcasting. Third, you invite sabotage. This is the one people don't like to talk about, but it's real. Some people will actively work to undermine you, sometimes consciously, sometimes unconsciously, simply because they don't want to see you succeed. Arnold faced all of this. In the bodybuilding world, competitors would try to psych each other out. They'd try to learn each other's training methods, diets, and mental strategies. Arnold became famous for his mind games, but what people don't realize is that his best defense was simply not revealing his true methods until after he'd already won. He'd give interviews and talk about his training, sure, but he was always strategic about what he shared and when. Here's how you apply this to your life. When you have a goal, when you have a plan, keep it to yourself. Tell maybe 1 or 2 people who you absolutely trust and who have the capability and desire to help you. Everyone else doesn't need to know. Work in silence. Let your results be the announcement. Imagine how much more powerful it is when people see you've lost 50 pounds rather than hearing you talk about how you're going to lose 50 pounds. Imagine the impact of launching a successful business rather than telling everyone you're thinking about starting one. Arnold said, "Start wide, expand further, and never look back." But notice he didn't say start by telling everyone what you're doing. He said start. Just start. The expansion comes from action, not from announcement. The second thing, smart people. Never reveal. The second thing you should never reveal is your personal life, specifically your problems, your family issues, and your relationship struggles. This one's tough because we live in a world that constantly tells us to share, to be vulnerable, to open up. And look, there's a place for vulnerability. There's a place for seeking help when you need it. But there's a massive difference between strategic vulnerability with trusted confidants and broadcasting your problems to everyone who will listen. Arnold's personal life has been far from perfect. He's been through a very public divorce, he's had his share of scandals, he's faced criticism and judgment. But if you look at how he's handled these situations, there's a pattern. He addresses what needs to be addressed, he takes responsibility where appropriate, but he doesn't wallow in public. He doesn't give long, detailed explanations to people who aren't owed one. He understands that the more you explain, the more ammunition you give people to use against you. There's a quote from Arnold that's relevant here. "Strength does not come from winning. Your struggles develop your strengths. When you go through hardships and decide not to surrender, that is strength." The key phrase there is when you go through hardships. Not when you broadcast your hardships to everyone on social media. Not when you constantly complain about your problems. When you go through them privately with dignity and emerge stronger. Here's what happens when you reveal too much about your personal problems. First, you invite pity, and pity is the opposite of respect. People might feel sorry for you, but they won't see you as strong, capable, or worthy of following. Second, you invite gossip. Humans are wired to talk about drama. The moment you share your problems, you become the topic of conversation, and not in a good way. Third, you invite judgment. Everyone becomes an expert on your life, offering unsolicited advice and criticism based on the limited information you've shared. But here's the most dangerous part. When you constantly share your problems, you attract other people who want to share their problems. You become known as the person who's struggling, the one who's always dealing with something, and pretty soon, successful, positive, forward, moving people don't want to be around you anymore. You've become energy draining rather than energy creating. Arnold surrounded himself with successful people throughout his life. He trained with champions. He befriended successful business people and politicians. He understood that you become like the people you spend time with, and successful people don't have time for constant drama and problem sharing. They're too busy solving problems and moving forward. Now, does this mean you bottle everything up and never seek help? Absolutely not. It means you're strategic about who you share with. You have one, maybe two truly trusted people, a mentor, a therapist, a best friend, someone who's proven themselves over time, and you share with them. Everyone else doesn't need to know. Your coworkers don't need to know you're having marriage problems. Your casual friends don't need to know about your family drama. Your social media followers definitely don't need to know about your personal struggles. Think about it this way. Arnold was dealing with the pressure of being the best bodybuilder in the world, then transitioning to acting where he faced constant rejection, then entering politics where every aspect of his life was scrutinized. At any point he could have crumbled publicly, complained about the pressure, shared how hard everything was, but he didn't. He dealt with his struggles privately and presented strength publicly. That's why people respected him. That's why people followed him. That's why he succeeded. The third thing, smart people never reveal. The third thing you should never reveal, and this might be the most important, is your full potential. Never show everyone what you're truly capable of. This sounds counterintuitive, I know. We're told to always give 100%, to show up fully, to demonstrate our value. But there's a difference between doing your best work and revealing the full extent of your capabilities. Arnold was a master at this. In competitions, he would dominate, but he never revealed every technique he knew. In his acting career, he carefully chose roles that showcased different aspects of his ability, but he never gave everything away at once. In politics, he picked his battles strategically rather than trying to fight every fight. Arnold once said, "For me, life is continuously being hungry. The meaning of life is not simply to exist, to survive, but to move ahead, to go up, to achieve, to conquer." Notice the phrase, to move ahead, not to arrive. Not to show everyone you've arrived. To keep moving ahead, that requires always having something in reserve, always having another level you can reach. Here's why this matters. When people know your full potential, they know your limits. They know exactly how far they need to push you before you break. They know what you're capable of, which means they also know what you're not capable of. But when you keep some of your potential hidden, you maintain an element of mystery, of possibility, of unpredictability. People can't figure you out completely, and that gives you power. In negotiations, Arnold understood this. He never revealed his bottom line immediately. In training, he never showed all his techniques to competitors. In business dealings, he never put all his cards on the table at once. He always had something in reserve, another move, another strategy, another level of effort he could tap into if needed. This applies to your daily life in so many ways. At work, don't sprint so hard on your first day that you have nowhere to go but down. Show competence, show reliability, but save some of your best work for when it really counts. In relationships, don't be so available, so predictable, so completely known that there's no mystery left. In your personal development, don't broadcast every skill you're learning or every level you're achieving. Let people underestimate you sometimes. Let them think they have you figured out, and then surprise them when it matters. There's also a protective element to this. When you reveal your full potential too early, you paint a target on your back. People who are threatened by you will work to undermine you. Arnold faced this throughout his career. Other bodybuilders tried to sabotage his training. Other actors tried to keep him from getting roles. Political opponents tried to destroy his credibility. But because he always had another gear, another strategy, another level he could reach, he consistently outmaneuvered them. Arnold has said, "The resistance that you fight physically in the gym and the resistance that you fight in life can only build a strong character. But part of fighting that resistance effectively is not revealing all your weapons at once. You fight strategically, you adapt, you keep some ammunition in reserve for the battles that matter most. Bringing it all together." So let's recap what we've learned from Arnold's approach to life and success. Never reveal your next move. Work in silence and let your results make the noise. Never reveal your personal problems to everyone. Handle your struggles with dignity and share only with those who've truly earned your trust. And never reveal your full potential. Keep something in reserve, maintain mystery, and let people underestimate you when it benefits you. But here's the deeper principle underlying all of this. Success isn't just about what you do. It's about how you think, how you protect yourself, and how you navigate a world that's often hostile to people who are trying to rise above mediocrity. Arnold understood that strength isn't just physical. It's mental, strategic, and psychological. One of Arnold's most powerful quotes is this: "You have to remember something. Everybody pities the weak. Jealousy you have to earn." Think about what that means. When you're weak, when you're struggling publicly, when you're revealing all your problems and limitations, people pity you. But pity is worthless. It doesn't help you succeed. It doesn't open doors. It doesn't build respect. But when you're strong, when you're succeeding, when you're moving forward despite obstacles, that's when you earn jealousy. And jealousy, while not pleasant, is a sign that you're doing something right. It means you're rising above. You're achieving something others want. You're becoming someone others wish they could be. The key is to rise in a way that's sustainable, that's protected, that's strategic. And that means being smart about what you reveal. It means understanding that in a world where everyone's sharing everything, the person who knows how to keep secrets, who knows what to hold back, who knows how to move in silence, that person has a massive advantage. Living the principle. So how do you actually implement this in your life starting today? First, audit what you're currently sharing. Look at your social media. Look at your conversations with coworkers, friends, and acquaintances. Are you broadcasting your plans before you've made real progress? Are you sharing personal problems with people who haven't earned that level of trust? Are you showing all your cards in every situation? If so, it's time to pull back. Second, identify your inner circle. Who are the one or two people you can truly trust? Who has proven over time that they genuinely want the best for you, that they won't gossip about you, that they have the wisdom to offer real guidance? These are the people you can be more open with. Everyone else stays in the outer circles and they get the public version of you, the version that's strategic and protected. Third, develop the discipline of silence. This is hard in our current culture. We're addicted to sharing, to getting validation, to broadcasting our lives. But start small. The next time you accomplish something, resist the urge to immediately post about it. Sit with the accomplishment privately. Feel the satisfaction internally rather than seeking it externally. The next time you're going through something difficult, resist the urge to share it widely. Handle it privately. Develop your own strength rather than seeking comfort from an audience. Arnold built an empire by being smarter than his competition, not just stronger or more talented. He thought strategically about every move, every relationship, every piece of information he shared. He understood that life is a long game, and the people who win are the ones who protect themselves while building themselves. There's one more quote from Arnold I want to leave you with. He said, "The worst thing I can be is the same as everybody else." And everybody else is sharing everything, revealing all their plans, broadcasting all their problems, showing all their capabilities immediately. If you want to be different, if you want to actually succeed rather than just talk about success, you need to do the opposite. You need to be strategic, protected, and mysterious. The smartest people in the world, people like Arnold Schwarzenegger, they got where they are by understanding this fundamental truth. Success isn't just built by what you show the world. It's built by what you keep hidden until the right moment. It's built by the discipline to work in silence, to suffer privately, to keep your full potential in reserve until it's time to unleash it. So, take these 3 principles and apply them starting today. Stop revealing your next move. Stop broadcasting your personal problems. Stop showing your full potential too early. Instead, work quietly, handle your struggles with dignity, and surprise the world with what you're capable of when it really matters. That's how champions think. That's how legends operate. That's how you rise above everyone who's too busy talking about what they're going to do to actually do anything significant. The choice is yours, but now you know what separates those who make it from those who don't.